Hey, I've been getting a lot of questions these days about how specifically the 6 month one-to-one transformational container is effective for practitioners and entrepreneurs that I primarily work with. So, I wanted to share a few things about what this container really looks like today. So, essentially, what we're looking at, like, how often as a practitioner or an entrepreneur do you find yourself stuck in these loops of just go, 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 never really taking any time to rest, getting burnt out, just stuck in these chronic stress cycles? This is so common for entrepreneurs because like once we start our business, we feel like, okay, there's always things to do. There are plenty of things to do, right? And so it feels like, oh, I can do this thing, I can do this one, I can do this, my whole to-do list is I'm gonna get it all done today. And because we enjoy, hopefully, like if you start a business, often it's because you really enjoy what you're doing, right? And so it can be really easy to get pulled into the need to always be doing and always be going because it does feel good in some ways, right? Now, what I want to share is that when we work together in this 6 month container, one-on-one, this is a very customized, very personalized experience. What I mean by that is I have never done this the same twice. Why? Because your nervous system is different than every single nervous system out there. So this is not a container that can be done the same way. This is not a cut and dry. This is not a one size fits all. And so I'll have questions come through of like, well, what are the sessions going to be? And what are we going to work on each month? And this truly depends on how you are showing up and what you're doing like in between the sessions as well. And so what we're going to start with is I am going to fully map out together, we are going to map out your nervous system. We're really going to get to know what is happening in your system. And then we're going to use that information to show you what you can do in the moments and how you can really get to know what your body and what your nervous system is telling you. And what we're looking for here is there's so much talk about regulating the nervous system, right? That's great. It's great. And also, it's not just about regulation, it's about building capacity in the system. So, if we're looking at it like a window, for example, you can be regulated here in this window, but that's not a very big window, right? And as we know, as entrepreneurs or practitioners, that there's things that happen, there's stress that comes day to day, right? That we need to be able to navigate to continue on with our day and continue on with clients and continue on with calls and meetings and whatever else it is and remain present in those, right? But if our nervous system is regulated this much rather than this much, then like just consider how much more you would be able to be with the stress, be with those activations, be with the things that come up if you had this much capacity rather than this much, right? So this is what we're doing in this container is we are expanding your capacity to navigate the stress, the stuff that comes up in business and in practice. So as I mentioned, this is fully customized. So what we're doing here is we are getting familiar with your system. I am sharing tips and tools and things that you can use throughout the days in the moments that you're noticing an activation. What are the cues that you can kind of lean into and notice what's coming up in your system? We are also, though, going to get to the root of all of the things, that subconscious and sensory data that is keeping you stuck in fear loops. So I remember when I first started my business, I would say things like, I have to make this post, I have to do this thing, I have to do this thing, and I need this for the website. And my partner would be like, cool, let's take some photos, or let's record a video, or let's do, you know, all of these things. And she was just like on the spot, like, let's do it right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, I need to think about it. I need to plan it. I need to write it all out. I need to have it all set up. And it was just this fear of like, oh, people are going to see me, people are going to hear me, people are going to, like, I'm really going to be putting myself out there, which felt really scary at that time, right? And so I had to just start doing the thing in order to decrease that fear and build that trust in myself. But I also had to get to the root through subconscious imprinting technique of what is that subconscious, like what is happening within my body and within my subconscious that is old stored memories or unprocessed trauma that is leading to this fear response of like not wanting to be seen, not feeling safe putting myself out there, right? So we also work with that. So throughout this 6-month container, we're doing a lot of different things to really build that capacity. We're releasing the subconscious fears. We are getting to the root of like what's actually causing this issue. And it might not even be like fear of putting yourself out there. It might be, you know, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of bringing in, like becoming very, very wealthy and then not fucking knowing what to do with it, right? So these are all things that we work through and grow through in this 6-month container. And I really want to share a few examples that one lady that I just finished working with, so lovely. She said, I really love how you call me up, you call me forward in a very friendly way. So I'm going to point out some blind spots and point out some things that maybe you're not quite seeing, or maybe I would show you a new perspective on, right? And from what I'm hearing, this is a very appreciated part of how I do the work that I do. Not only that, I had one lady that I just finished working with in 9 months, actually, we had worked together, and she shared with me that I feel confident to take the steps into those big projects that I've been dreaming of doing, that I've wanted to do, but I just haven't felt confident enough in myself to take those steps forward. And by the time we're working together, she has taken on a huge project that many people around her, very close to her, have said, like, there's no way, this is gonna fail, you're gonna fail. And she was like, I'm doing it anyway. Whatever happens, because she knows now that she has the capacity, again, in her system, has built a lot of capacity in her system to be able to navigate whatever happens. So she's got herself, even though it feels uncomfortable, even when people tell her that it's not possible, and even if she's like, I don't know what's happening and it feels scary and I'm gonna fucking do it anyway, right? So this is the beauty of, we're still human, and there's still things that happen and things that will come up in business, but when you expand that capacity to actually be with it, then you trust yourself that you can navigate it. Another example of a client that I worked with also for 9 months, he, you know, when we first started working together, he barely even wanted to leave the house, let alone like put himself out there on social media or go out to classes to meet new people or these kinds of things, right? And we finished working together, and in that 9-month period, first of all, he had moved states, so not a small thing. He moved somewhere where he doesn't know anybody and is there now building up his business. He has joined a men's group that he didn't know anyone, and he is going and making these connections because of the capacity that he has built in his system. He just sent me a message the other day to say, I wanted to share with you, I am exercising a lot more. I've even joined exercise groups. So like, again, that safety in connection. So he is now joining these exercise groups. He shared that I'm doing these scary things and it feels uncomfortable, but I'm doing it even though it feels unfamiliar, even though it feels scary. And this is it, like knowing that we can hold ourselves while also, of course, reaching out for support when needed. But this is what we get to in this one-on-one transformation. Another really beautiful thing that comes out of these containers is I love my clients. I love working with people long-term. To me, that is the difference in the work that I do. Any nervous system work is not a one and done. This stuff takes time. It takes consistent moments after moments after moments that you are continuously becoming more and more aware of your nervous system, right? But what this means is that we work together for a consistent amount of time, but my goal is that I am empowering you. I'm giving you the tools that you need so that you can go out on your own afterwards and be like, I know I've got me. I know I've got me. I have built that trust in myself throughout this work to know that I can handle the stresses, I can handle all of the things that come with business, with life, with relationships, all of it. I can handle it because you have shown me how to handle it, right? And this is one thing that I absolutely am so honored when people say, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready to carry on my own. It's so huge. So I would love to chat with you about a one-on-one 6-month container with me. It is always such an honor to see where folks are at the beginning and where they're at in the end. And so send me a message, comment below, reach out, let me know your questions, or just let me know if you want to hop on a call and chat more about this and how this can transform you on a personal level and then therefore transform your business. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, I invite you to click the subscribe button right there so that you can be the first to know when any of my new videos come out. And if you want a freebie, if you're interested in what I'm chatting about, then check the link in the description to get your freebie for more information of all of this juicy stuff that I share. Thanks so much. Have a great day.